You know what's crazy? I spent years learning piano the traditional way, reading every single note, line by line, trying to play songs with both hands exactly as they were written. I followed all the rules. I practiced my scales, and I even did those hand and finger exercises. But no one ever told me that reading full sheet music was one of the slowest and most frustrating ways to actually sound good on piano. It wasn't until I discovered a completely different way to play music, something most beginners are never shown, that everything changed. Suddenly, I could sit down at the piano and just play without spending hours decoding notes between both hands. And once I started using this method with my students, they started progressing faster than I ever thought possible. I'm talking full songs sounding beautiful in just a few weeks. So in this video, I want to pull back the curtain on what's actually slowing you down, why traditional sheet music might be the reason you feel clumsy, frustrated, or like piano is just not clicking. And I'll show you the exact way I help beginners skip the overwhelm and start playing the songs they love, way faster than you'd expect. Most people think learning piano means starting young, practicing scales for hours, and reading every single note off a page like it's a second language. And that's exactly how I was taught. I took piano lessons from 3rd grade all the way through my senior year of high school. Then I majored in piano in college. Classical training, the whole 9 yards. And even after all of that, I was still a bad sight reader. I could play beautifully once I started learning a piece. Here's an example of me playing Chopin's Fantasy Impromptu at 17. But if I was reading a brand new song, I'd freeze. It felt like a code I had to decode line by line. And honestly, I thought something was wrong with me. But here's the truth. It wasn't me, it was a method. I was trained in a system that was built for concert pianists, not everyday adults who just want to sit down and play their favorite songs. Even legendary musicians have said the same. Billy Joel, who took 12 years of classical piano lessons, said this on the podcast, "Here's the thing with Alec Baldwin."
So I overplay on my right hand. My technique is horrible. I can't read music. I never really
You don't read music?
I used to, but I don't anymore. I forgot how. I started taking lessons when I was about 4 or 5, and I went up till I was about 16. So it was almost 12 years of classical piano lessons. I loved it, but when you become a teenager, everything changes. I didn't want to read other people's dots anymore.
This is really fascinating considering many people think Billy Joel is one of the greatest popular pianists of our time. So if you've ever felt behind, clumsy, or like you're just not musical, this is not your fault. You were just never shown the approach that actually works for adults and regular people. The approach that skips the overwhelm and starts with how real musicians actually play music. If you want to play like Billy Joel or Elton John without getting lost in traditional sheet music, I made a free training that shows you the direct path on how to get there from absolute scratch. Comment "free training" below and I'll send it to you. Let's take a look at something real for a second. Some sheet music for She's Always a Woman by Billy Joel. At first glance, it's a little overwhelming. Tiny notes packed across 2 staves. The left hand buried in dense bass patterns. The right hand jumping octaves, weaving through accidentals and syncopation. And you're supposed to read, process, and play all of this simultaneously in real time. Even if you're practicing consistently, it can take 5 to 10 years of training just to read this kind of score fluently. That is not an exaggeration. Now, traditional sheet music absolutely has its place. It's perfect for playing classical music exactly as a composer wrote it, like I did with Chopin's Fantasy Impromptu. And I genuinely love that. I studied it for years. But if you're an adult who just wants to sit down and play your favorite songs, to unwind at the end of the day and enjoy making music, this system, the full score classical method, wasn't designed for you. It's detailed, rigid, and honestly kind of joyless when you're trying to feel the music. What if instead you learn something like this? No cramped notation, no dozens of measures per page, just the melody line, lyrics, and chords written above. That's it. This is called a lead sheet, and it's one of the most powerful tools in modern music. If you've never seen one before, here's what you're looking at. The top line is the melody. It shows the tune you'd sing or you'd play in your right hand. The letters above the staff, those are your chords. They tell you what to play in the left hand or how to harmonize the melody. And the lyrics underneath help guide timing and phrasing if you're singing or accompanying someone. If I played a little of this lead sheet, it would sound like this. But the best part is, it's clean, simple, and leaves space for you to make it your own. It leaves room for creativity. I could have also played it like this. Or you could do it like this. That's why professional pianists, gigging musicians, and even music school grads use lead sheets all the time. Jazz musicians, lead sheets are their language. Pop and rock session players, lead sheets. Even Berklee College of Music says lead sheets are often the most efficient form for communicating musical ideas. Because they're not about perfection, they're about creativity, and it's a heck of a lot easier to read. Think of it this way. Traditional sheet music is like a movie script. Every line, every pause, every detail has to be followed exactly. There's no room for spontaneity. But a lead sheet? That's like a story outline. It gives you the essentials, the characters, the plot, the core structure, and then lets you bring it to life however you want. Want to make it jazzy? Go for it. Want to slow it down or add your own flair? You can. It grows with you instead of boxing you in. And here's the cool part. Let's go back to the full sheet music for She's Always a Woman Again. See all these notes in the left hand? That's literally just an E flat major chord. That's it, just like it says in the lead sheet. The next chord is B flat, just like the lead sheet. So instead of reading 10 different notes, you could just see E flat and play it your way. This isn't cheating. This is how real musicians actually play. And for adult beginners, it's a game changer. One of my students, Mark, told me he took traditional piano lessons for years as a kid and never got anywhere. But once he learned with lead sheets, he surprised his wife by playing their wedding song from memory. If you'd like to see my exact process on how I take a student from zero to being able to play lead sheets beautifully, comment free training in the comments below and I'll send it to you. Now maybe you're thinking, but I want to play real pieces like classical music. You absolutely can. Let me show you. Even something as iconic as Fur Elise can be played beautifully from a lead sheet. The left hand, it's outlining the harmony. The right hand is that unforgettable melody. That's the power of a lead sheet. Melody and chords. No fluff, no overwhelm. And no, it's not cheating. It's how real musicians actually play. So the question isn't, can I play classical? It's, do I want to spend months learning every single note the way one person wrote it? Or do I want to understand the music, play it faster, and make it my own? Lead sheets give you the foundation and the freedom. And you'd be shocked how many professionals use them every day. It's a core part of what I teach in my Piano Accelerator program. And once you get it, you can play anything, from Coldplay to Beethoven, faster. You don't need to be born with natural talent. You don't need to practice for hours a day, and you definitely don't need to follow some rigid, outdated system just to play music you actually enjoy. And if you're someone who loves the idea of playing real music, like classical pieces or iconic ballads, I want you to know you can still get there. Using lead sheets and chord-based playing first will help you reach that goal faster because you're building real fluency and freedom at the keys. So if you've been burned out by old methods or you're worried you won't stick with it again, this is different. You'll actually want to keep going because you'll hear progress fast. You'll sound good early and you'll finally feel like a piano player. Most people were handed the most complicated version of piano and told, start here, do it exactly this way, good luck. But that's not how music is supposed to feel. Music is supposed to feel joyful and creative. Something you like to do for you, not something that leaves you frustrated every time you sit down to play. And the truth is, you don't need perfect technique. You don't need to read 10,000 notes a minute. You don't need to be the next Beethoven. You just need a method that meets you where you are and actually makes sense for how adults learn. I've seen total beginners go from, I don't think I'm musical, to playing full, beautiful songs they love in just a few weeks. So if you've been telling yourself it's too late, it's not. This might be the first time someone's actually shown you a way that works. And if something in you is saying, I want to try this, I hope you listen to that. If you're curious how to go from zero to confidently playing lead sheets, comment free training below. I'll send you my step-by-step roadmap the exact method I use to help students start playing their favorite songs faster. And check out this video next for some tips on how to read music faster and more efficiently than memorizing every note. And if this video helped you, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.